Zidane Dayani, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. And it's time for another Nerd Chat. I'm here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and of course, this is the last week before Skandar, the first Unicorn Rider, comes out here in America. As of right now, it is already in England, so anyone who's been watching our videos over in Europe, Cough Cafe of Stedman, has already had the book. Obviously, F. Stedman has already, she's already doing all of her, a few tours, I think. But she's not like, I think this is going to be the one that she's doing the least amount of tours, from what I understand. Um, but yes, the first Unicorn Rider is out over in England, and it will be out on the 11th here in America. For the record, that is on Tuesday. Uh, Now, I will be picking up the book immediately. Um, Jack, you are not going to, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So we will not be having a full discussion of the book after the um, until after Christmas, which I think is a reasonable thing to do as well, because we're going to be going spoilers for that. And since this is a November book, it is best. It means that there will be time for people to actually read the book, to get the book, especially since it's going to be a book that people are going to be getting for Christmas. So, yeah. Um, so we're gonna try and avoid spoilers as much as possible for this. Um, I'm I'm really excited for it though. Um, I will be. I might briefly talk about it in my own personal video after I've finished it. But the nerd chat one is going to be after Christmas, so that people have fully gotten the chance to read it, including Jack. Um, but yes. Oh boy. So for so far we don't really know too much about what this book is going to be about. We do know a little bit because the prologue is out publicly. A.F. Stenman released a reading by Alfred Enoch, where he reads the prologue, and we will actually listen to that in a little bit, and then discuss it. But aside from that, there's not really much that we know. We know some basics of how the first Unicorn Rider got the first unicorn. Obviously, we saw that um, in Phantom Rider. We know that like some basic stuff, and then obviously we learned a little bit more about the family in the last in the Unicorn War, um, which cool or what? No, it was Spirit War. That's yeah. Skandar and the Spirit War had quite a bit about his life as an adult and so on and so forth. Um, so we know a decent amount, but this is going to be a book that is really going to go in depth with the first Unicorn Rider, and I imagine that it's probably going to be going over a long period of time. Um, Probably stuff from I'm guessing that he's going to be washing up onto shore, like maybe in the first or second chapter, um, with the possibility of it actually being longer because they probably want to explain some of his backstory before he washed up on shore, properly introduce him as a character, um, and then have him meet his unicorn on the shore in, like I said, second or third chapter. I don't think it's going to be much more than that. I don't think that they're going to do it in the first, but it could happen. It could happen in the first. Um, and then I don't know, maybe a few chapters of his first year, a few chapters of his second year, a few chapters of his third year, and basically just like go over like the 5 years that he kind of was learning about the unicorns. Because I have a feeling that the his first 5 years as a unicorn rider most likely led to why different things are taught at the school, at the Erie, um, in the specific order that they are. Obviously, the first year is introducing yourself to your unicorn, learning about your unicorn. It's one of the reasons why very few unicorn riders are actually expelled during their first year. The second year, what was this? What was the second year again? That was. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Okay. Oh, that was weapons. I think. I think that was weapons. So yeah, learning how to create elemental weapons. Then the third year was, probably something about the stones, learning about the stones and figuring out exactly what happened with them. The fourth year, Predators was fifth year, so I'm not gonna. I'm assuming that that's gonna be like one of the last bits that we're learning. And we really don't know much about the fourth year, because they didn't. So much happened in the fourth year, and obviously Skandar and his group were kind of separated from everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah. But they'll probably properly explain a lot of what happened and how he learned to be a unicorn rider. And I imagine that, like, at some point, they gotta introduce us to the rest of, to at least someone in his family. We know that that his wife was the first silver rider. We don't know exactly how many riders there were before her, but we know that the first silver was his wife. And then each of his kids was one of the 5 elements. But we also know that he did recruit people from across the world and mended their bonds. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah. Anyways, I think we should briefly listen to the intro, the prologue, because I think it gives a little bit of ideas of what could happen. Obviously, if this gets a copyright claim, then we will probably remove this from the video. But yeah.
This is a tale of heroic deeds and magnificent adventures, of horrors on the high seas and battles with bloodthirsty unicorns. It is a tale of bravery and courage and kindness, of magic and laughter and pirates, of friendship and loyalty and dragons. But most importantly of all, it is a tale of a boy, an ordinary boy called George. Because there is a secret nobody will tell you, that all extraordinary people start off ordinary, until they find the right adventure.
So, my main takeaway from that is, of course, the ending. Because the big thing that she says is, all extraordinary people start out ordinary. And that is really interesting to think about. Is, like, are they actually going to be delving into the fact that he was just, at the time, an ordinary kid? Someone who just was living his life, and then suddenly, boom, adventure. We also know that there will be some mystical stuff. They mention the dragons, they mention pirates, and I really don't know how they're going to handle it. I don't know. Like, what do you think of the whole pirates and dragons and stuff like that? And also, obviously,
I'm excited for it, frankly.
Fair. I think it's really exciting to hear that ordinary. She's really making a point that extraordinary people start out as ordinary people. and that is so heartwarming. I love that, and it really shows that anyone can become amazing, and I'm excited to see exactly how she's gonna handle that moving forward. But yeah, bless you.
Sorry.
All good. I don't think that the mic picked it up too much. But yes, so for the dragons, I want to hear your thoughts on the dragons. So they make a big point of mentioning the dragons. Do you think that is just the predators, or do you think that is actual dragons did exist? Or maybe
I mean,
do
I would
exist.
like to believe that actual dragons existed.
Fair. And that's like part of me that is really interesting about that is like, if she is saying that dragons existed, does that mean that all mythical creatures that are, especially the ones that are used by the predators, the predators that people use, the mythical predators, could that mean that every single one of them is real in this world?
I think so.
So, somewhere out there, there's a kraken. Somewhere out there, there are dragons. Somewhere out there, there are thunderbirds. Like, holy shit. If you think about that, that's insane. So, like, I'm thinking about, like, the fact that, like, Flo used a freaking, kraken during the final battles. And, I think that, Rex just used, his Thunderbird over and over again, right?
Yep.
So, and obviously, Flo has learned how to use, like, every single element as a mythical. And we saw a few of them. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. But, yeah. Part of me is wondering if maybe the reason why he washed up, because they don't mention why he washed up on the island, all those years ago. What if he was attacked? What if while he was fishing, maybe like pirates attacked him, and then suddenly a kraken attacked him and the pirates, and because of that, he washed up on shore onto the island, and it was an actual kraken.
Huh.
Like, obviously, this is just a theory. There's no, there's all sorts of possibilities of why he washed up on shore. It could have just been a storm. It could have been all sorts of different things. But if it's a kraken, specifically, that would be just insane. Or it could be a Bakunai, but that's beside the point. For the record, for what a Bakunai is, that's something in the Stinks Adventures books. That'll be showing up in eventually in book 2, but we'll see. We'll talk about that later. It's basically a kraken. But yes, kraken. But yeah, kraken. That would be really interesting. They mentioned dragons, and part of me is wondering, because the elemental dragons that we saw in book 5, the assumption that the cast makes, that the crew, that all of our friends makes, is that they are not actually that they're not actual dragons, but instead they are elemental predators. But what if they're not? What if they were always real dragons?
I could see that.
Like, this is gonna give us more information on it, but yeah, my thinking is that uh, George, the main character of in obviously the first Unicorn Rider, he specifically says like he doesn't specifically say. What if he, as he's learning about the unicorns and all that jazz, he goes out, sees the unicorns, and he goes with his unicorn to basically explore the world. And on the mainland, there are 4 major dragons, and each of them, sure, they're tied to the ley lines, but they're the source of why people have been having mythical. They've been talking about dragons for years and years. Obviously, dragons have been around. Myths and legends of dragons have been around for eternity, pretty much. So, what if these dragons have been in these spots the entire time, and they've basically been being the guardians of the ley lines this entire time? And what if there's a 5th frickin' dragon that is a spirit dragon that is on the island and we didn't know about it?
That would be crazy.
It would be insane. And, like, part of me is wondering, specifically with that, is what if the spirit dragon, if it stops giving its if it allows the spirit wielder to turn off all the magic, it would turn off magic on the mainland, or not the mainland, on the island. So if all 5 dragons cease the power on the ley lines, all magic in the world ceased. That would be insane. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Also, I'm kind of wondering, especially with the silver, is what element was she? No, pretty much what element was she specifically attuned to? Was she a spirit silver? Because that would be extremely funny if the first silver was a spirit silver. Could you imagine that? Just for a moment.
That would be crazy. It would be cool.
It would be insane.
It would be crazy.
It would be so insane. I think the other possibility is that it was also wild, and that the 2 of them just basically, because it was like early mending and stuff, that is how it would work. But I'm not sure if they would actually do that. So, yeah. I don't know. But what are some of your thoughts? I'm sure you've got some thoughts of what you would want to see in this book.
I can't even imagine. I would love to see the first silver be a spirit wielder for sure. And I can't wait to see how this whole spirit wielding thing happened. Not spirit wielding, but elemental wielding. How did they start to wield just one element? How did they start to find that they had destined unicorns? How did they, just the lore I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And I think the important thing to remember with this, especially with how they learned to wield and how they learned how to bond and all that jazz, I think we probably will not see even close to the start of people not liking spirit. The silver and spirit divide and how they just despised each other. I don't see that happening anytime soon. We know that at some point, there was a story that was mentioned very briefly in one of the early books, is that two brothers, one was a spirit rider, one was a silver, and they hated each other, and that was like kind of the start of when silvers and spirit really started to go against each other. Part of me would wonder if the first the silver who hated the spirit rider, who was brothers, what if they were both spirit wielders, but the one that was the one that used the silver was just so ashamed that he just didn't like spirit at all and refused to use it. I don't think they would
I feel
do
like
that.
the silver that refused to use their bonded element would be in danger.
Probably. It's probably not the case. But the thing is, like, we don't really know of too many people who have where siblings... We know that siblings can have different elements, but we don't really know too much about exactly how that works. Like, they don't have to necessarily be the same as their parents, because Amber, obviously, was a air wielder, while her father was a spirit wielder. But it also seems like there is like some connection between what elements they can use. If both your parents are spirit wielders, then you're more likely to have to be a spirit wielder. If both parents are any specific, if both of your parents are one specific element, you're more likely to have said element be your your main element. At least that's how it seems based on what I'm seeing. If one of your parents is not bonded to a unicorn, I think that's where it starts to be like, oh, okay. Then you can have multiple elements, and it could be practically any of them. You have no idea what element you're going to be. But yeah, I don't know. My big thinking is like, what determines each of the what unicorn you have? I don't think that they're going to explain it too well, but we'll see. I don't know. Also, this is the first of the Skandar books that's being read by someone else. The first books, all 5 of the other books, who read those? Forgetting what his name was. Finished. Here we go. So, so far, all of the Skandar books were read by David Dawson, while the new book is read by Alfred Enoch. Which I'm kind of wondering if it's specifically so that they can actually distinguish it, because obviously David Dawson kind of has made the Skandar voice very clear, while Alfred Enoch would allow them to properly distinguish that this is from George's perspective. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
I can see that.
Because I don't know. There's some things with it as well, because like I've read I've listened to a lot of audiobooks, and very rarely will you see someone there being more than one reader. The most common ones that I've seen is one, if it's a light novel that has an anime, oftentimes they will have the cast actually play each of their characters, with with the major character basically being the main reader of the book. I think so. Like, just for an example, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, that is read by the actress who plays Rimuru. But like several of the other characters are played by the different actors who have played the various different characters throughout That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. It's not all of them. She actually does like a few of their other voices, but not all of them. Yeah. And then there's like other characters as well, such as meanwhile, the only book that I can think of that doesn't do that is something like Last Dragon on Mars and its sequel, Rise of Neptune, where most of the book is read by what is his name? Why am I forgetting his name? Landon Woodson, I think, is the main guy. I think that's right. I think that's who it is. And then a few of the chapters are read by Gail Shalin, who those are basically when it's Rose Proctor. And then I think that there's someone else in this. It looks like there's someone else in this book, but I'm not certain. Pretty much everything I'm seeing. But that's all Lunar Jones. I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Maybe it is just something. There's 3 people listed in the frickin' on the book, but like, yeah, basically, one person will read the chapters for a specific character, and they'll read the entire book, or they'll read the entire chapter. And then occasionally, when there's a character that is reading it from a different perspective, then they'll do it with the other character. They'll have it be read by the other person. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. Part of me also wonders, though, if there's going to be something like, what if at the end of the book, in the prologue, or not the prologue, in the epilogue, Skandar is, we realize that this entire book was being read by Skandar from, like, a diary of the first writer.
That would be interesting.
I think that would be insane. That would, like, imagining for a moment, like, my guess as to what it would be is that since Skandar's family, the Everhearts, have always been spirit wielders for years and are an extremely powerful family of spirit wielders. What if that book has been passed down generation by generation, and it is just somewhere in the Everheart treehouse? And because of the fact that he now has access to the Everheart treehouse, he finds the book and has been reading it the entire time. That would be insane.
That would be kind of cool, though.
It would be so cool, and it also would give like a little bit of a, yeah, this could be exactly what happened because it's written by, it is written by the author, by in universe it would be written by frickin' George, but it also could hint at an unreliable narrator because it would be written by said the original person, because he would want to make himself look a little bit better than he actually was. So we don't while we would know, we also technically wouldn't know for a fact that this is exactly how it happened. So I don't know. Like I said, theories. The other possibility is that it's just somewhere in the spirit library, because currently we don't know where the spirit library is.
That's true.
And all of those books are everything that is in the spirit library is just locked away. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been saying for a little while that I would like to see more stuff from A.F. Stedman, delving into like Skandar as an adult, especially. And I'm especially thinking with that maybe he'll be looking through like the spirit library to try and figure out what the heck happened there, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We do know that I think that she is planning to take a break from Skandar, at least for a little while, because she's doing the new book, Timeless.
Right.
So, I have a feeling that there's a good chance that she will probably go back into the world of Skandar. But for now, I think that she's gonna take a little break. But also another thing with Timeless specifically is, what if Timeless is in the same universe as Skandar?
Oh, I doubt it.
I mean, fair. Like, you don't really want to have a book for adults and a book for kids being in the same universe. And that's kind of, it's already kind of concerning, because, like, she said that it is that this is an adult book comparatively. We don't know exactly how adult it is. My guess is that it's the first book is probably going to be pretty tame, whatever it's going to be. And I'm hoping that that's the case. But
Same.
there is a possibility that it's not. It might be very, 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 very mature. But
I sincerely hope not.
I really hope not too. But I'm hoping that if she is gonna go that direction, then she's gonna start off with, like, hey, or if she's gonna go in that direction, she's gonna start off with the first book being more for kids. I'm also hoping that the first Unicorn Rider is a bit more mature. Not like extremely. I'm thinking like it's still gonna be for kids. It still should remain for kids. But comparatively, I would like to see the first Unicorn Rider basically go in kind of a little bit higher, like maybe young adult comparatively. Because let's see, what is Skandar is kind of, it is a kid's book, but it's also like
Intense.
it is intense. It can be very intense at times, and it has been going up in intensity the entire time. So I would say maybe make it young adult. So I don't know what's a good book that I would see. Maybe like some of the I would put it at a similar level to I'm trying to think of what I'm kind of like thinking about, like the Riordan series, the Percy Jackson and all of those. Maybe like the Sun and the Star level, because that's more mature.
Yeah.
Because yeah, so let's see. So the first book, obviously the first few books, those were basically the same level as Percy. Maybe a little bit higher than Percy Jackson. Maybe Heroes of Olympus, I would say, for the standard Skandar books. And then I'm kind of hoping that this will be closer to the Sun and the Star, because like there's not like curse words or anything like that, but it is also like can be pretty heavy at times.
Right.
So, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Something along those lines would make sense to me. But yeah. And then for her new book, I don't know. I don't want personally, as much as we will probably still get every single one of her new books. We've said this already. We'll probably be getting Timeless and all of its sequels, even if they are a bit mature for our taste. Mostly to support her, but also like it would. I don't know. We'll see what they do. I'm kind of hoping for it being somewhat calm, but we'll see.
Yep.
Anyways, is there anything else that we should really discuss about it? Oh, yeah. Here, let me real quick before we conclude. I'm gonna read the Amazon description. George Penhaligon has only ever wanted adventure. When he finds himself shipwrecked and alone on a mysterious island, he makes an incredible discovery. Unicorns are real, and they're bloodthirsty. Slowly, George gains the one unicorn's trust, and together they explore the island's magical secrets. But there is a dark presence lurking in his home, more deadly than any unicorn. Can George fulfill his destiny and free the island from a terrible fate? So, that is. I think we read that when we first saw that it was available.
Yeah.
But what is this terrible fate? What is this dark presence that's lurking in his home? Is that the original spirit dragon? Is that why we don't see it? Did he steal it away so that it wouldn't actually be able to hurt anyone? Or what? I don't... It's hard to say.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know. But I am excited for it. I also... Part of me is wondering about the cover, specifically. The first Unicorn Rider is red, again. Like, obviously, Skandar and the Unicorn Thief was red.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be other books in this series, in the first Unicorn Rider series?
I don't know.
Maybe like 5 of them, like using the same different colors, the same colors.
Could be.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
It would be very interesting. Like, I will also mention that Skandar and the Secret Element, which is not going to be available. Like, what the fuck?
Not in the United States, anyway.
Not available in the United States. Like, come on. It's a World Book Day thing. And it's like, why are you not bringing that? Granted, it's supposedly smaller. It's basically just retelling the Skandar, the first book of Skandar, but from the perspective of Albert. Which, I mean, that sounds cool. It does sound cool. But at the same time, I don't know. Oh, that's insane. So apparently, for Amazon's cover that they have, has like a picture for Skandar and the Secret Element, and it says the most popular fantasy hero since Harry Potter.
Wow.
I think it might. I'm hoping that it goes higher than that.
Same.
Because Stedman is actually a decent human being.
Right.
But yeah, it's mean to compare her to Rowling. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited though. I think that they're gonna do a lot of really good stuff. Why is my mouse being so finicky today? But oh, that's interesting. Do they mention that for any of the other books? Oh, that's interesting. So, First Unicorn Rider actually has a listed illustrator. Which none of the others do. Now, granted, the only illustration when it comes to the Skandar series so far has been the cover.
And the maps.
And the maps, yes. But that's making me wonder, is this does that mean that that this book is actually going to have images?
Yes, that's what that means.
But how much is the other question? Is it going to be like just like simple like chapter things, or is it going to be like more than that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like looking at
I'm betting.
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm betting if it is like a diary of the first writer, that it'll have illustrations like he drew the unicorns and he drew the various things.
That could be interesting, yeah. Um because a lot of the things that I'm seeing in terms of like what this person has done, some of them are like really big um uh books that are heavily illustrated.
What's his name?
Uh, Making sure that I'm saying it. Manuel Sumbarak, with a little thing over the S.
Never heard of him.
Me neither. But like some of the things that he's done is like mostly some more mature stuff as well. Like there's some like it's not like super mature stuff, but it's more mature than like Skandar usually is. Like like apparently there's a he did a steampunk he illustrated for a steampunk version of Frankenstein.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
and a steam yeah, apparently like several things from this steampunk series. What is this steampunk series? So H.G. Wells. I don't know if that's
That's a really old author.
yeah. It's basically steampunk versions of it, of these different books. Like there's no wait, he's not involved with this series. It just listed a series and it's a different group. I think he just happened to be involved with. Yeah, it's usually Zenenko Basic is usually the illustrator for those, for these steampunk things. But he happened to be involved with the Frankenstein one. But then he's also involved with a Poe one.
Huh.
And then also did like a looks like he did something with the Snow Queen, Gallant. I have no idea what Gallant is. He did a version of the Night Before Christmas. Which yeah, like not all of these are like really intense things, but like his style. If I'm not certain exactly what his style is, but a lot of the books that are like listed are like not necessarily horror, but kind of horror adjacent.
Huh.
And like the images that I'm seeing for these are like kind of terrifying.
Oh, great.
So it's kind of making me wonder if like not super terrifying. It's not like oh you're going to be having nightmares about this thing. But at least we wouldn't. A kid might have nightmares of these. But yeah, part of me is making me wonder if like it's gonna be some real, not necessarily graphic, but like kind of disturbing versions of like pictures of the unicorns like eating and stuff like that. Because like we've heard it, we've read how they eat these how they eat rabbits and cats.
Yeah.
So we know that they're not friendly, but it would be interesting if they're actually going to show that. And yeah, if it is like a diary of George's diary, then That would be interesting. That would
Yes, it would.
We'll have to. I'd kind of like to have a second discussion. Like, I'll read the book and then I'll like try and be like as not spoilery as possible, but that might not make it to a nerd chat. But yeah.
Fair.
Like I might if any images that I find in the book, I will send you pictures if I don't think they're spoilery.
Okay.
So just so you can see like some what we're working with, because I think that would be very interesting to discuss. But yeah, I'm so excited for First Unicorn Rider though. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, I'm excited.
But yeah, if you're in Europe, it's out. Congratulations, you can go get that. And then the rest of us will pick it up once it's available here in America. But we like I said at the beginning, like we said at the beginning of the video, we will not be discussing the book wholly, completely until January. So, yeah. Once that we're not exactly certain exactly when that'll be, but hopefully it will be relatively soon. We have other things that are coming up over the next few weeks. Especially next week might be really fun. I'm not certain if it's going to be next week or if it's going to be the week after, but we should be getting soon the Game Awards.
True.
So, obviously, we haven't played, like, every single game this year. In fact, I'd say we've probably played, like, very few games. Comparatively. Like, obviously, we played Pokemon, we played Mario. I've played a few extra games than you have, but it's... Yeah, nominees coming mid-November, so that might be next week. It might be the week after, and then somewhat soon, hopefully, we will have our final discussion on Pokemon. Which, speaking of, did you watch the trailer for the DLC yet?
No.
Okay, so at some point you need to do that. We'll discuss that at some point. I would like to wait on that until the 22nd, if we can, to actually have that discussion. But if we don't have the nominees yet for Game Awards, I would like to discuss it on the discuss ZA on the 15th if we can. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's Nerd Chat. I've been Electro Ninja, he's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on